you're not really going to read this manga for the plot. You're going to read it for the vibes. Hey friends, my name is Matt and this is my YouTube channel. I'm a digital artist and I also collect comics and now manga. I started collecting manga in the summer after watching a lot of YouTubers online talk about their collections and what they've been reading and what they've been interested in. I actually didn't really read a lot of manga growing up. I was more of an anime watcher, and that's really exciting for me because it's a way for me to re-experience stories I've already watched in TV form and some stories I've never seen before because they never got adapted to anime. So in this first video of mine, I wanted to show you guys my manga collection. A couple points to start. One, my collection is small compared to a lot of manga tubers out there, so I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth on each series and, letting you know if it's something you might be interested in. I buy pretty much all my manga from Right Stuf. They really have some of the best prices, selection, and really great quality shipping. You never have to worry about books coming damaged, and they're really good about that. Also, if you see any titles in my collection that you have read before or own yourself, I'd love to hear more about your thoughts on that. Anyway, let's get started. The first in my collection is something you might already know. It's the Promised Neverland. I have volumes 1, 2, and 4. Yes, I am missing 3. It was out of stock at Right Stuf, so I'll be picking up that volume at some point. Promised Neverland takes place at Gracefield House, an orphanage where children are happy and free to do whatever they want, except they can never go outside the orphanage's gates. One night, 2 orphans, Emma and Norman, sneak out to see where adopted orphans go when they leave Gracefield, and they discover a dark secret that will forever change them and who they trust in. I really like this series. It's got a very interesting emphasis on mind games, strategy. The kids treat every single obstacle they come up with almost like a chess game. They're always trying to kind of outthink their opponent 3 steps ahead, which is just very heady stuff for Shonen Jump. Honestly, I would recommend this series. If you're not really sure whether or not you want to try it, the first chapter is available for free on Viz.com, plus it's available through the Shonen Jump app. There's another Shonen Jump series I've been into lately, which is Spy Family. The story revolves around Twilight. He's a spy who needs to assemble a fake family for a mission, so he gets a child from an orphanage, just out of the blue. Her name is Anya, ends up recruiting a woman named Yor as his fake wife. What Twilight doesn't realize is that Yor is an assassin. Yor doesn't realize that Twilight's a spy, and Anya is a mind reader who's the only person who knows everything that's going on. So basically they're all keeping secrets from each other, and it's a big comedic kind of romp that also has a lot of spy action. It's a new series from Shonen Jump that was recommended to me through a lot of different YouTube videos, and honestly, I really like it. It's just got such a fun flair that I feel like is really accessible for people who don't really think much about getting into comics or getting into manga. This one's also available on the Shonen Jump app, and truthfully, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to buy more physical volumes of this. I may just keep up with it on the Shonen Jump app itself, so, we'll see. Next up in my collection is Again, and I truly don't know if I need to, pronounce the exclamation points, Again! Again is by Mitsudo Kubo, and you may recognize her work from the anime Yuri on Ice that happened a couple years ago. It was one that was recommended to me through CJ vs. Manga. I watched her pickup videos where she talked about how much she liked the series, so I decided to try it. The series revolves around Kinichiro Imamura, a high school senior about to graduate with no friends and no participation in any school clubs. Suddenly, Imamura is in an accident. He falls down the stairs, hits his head, and somehow travels back in time to the first day of high school. Imamura takes the opportunity for a do-over and joins the school's Oendan Club. Oendan is a form of male cheerleading. It's less about aerobics and more about energizing the spirit of the crowd. The club is led by Yoshiki Usami. It's not only unusual for a girl to lead a male-centric club, Usami tends to drive people away with her stubborn attitude. Imamura works with Usami to revive the club because he remembered during graduation that the club had fallen apart. In many ways, this is a do-over not just for Imamura, but for the Oendan Club and many people around him. The whole premise is so interesting because it focuses on the idea of if you could do things differently, if you had the opportunity to have a do-over, what would you do? If you make a choice early on to talk to somebody, then your whole relationship with them is suddenly developed in a whole different way. I'm a big fan of Mitsuru Kubo's art style. I really loved her character designs and her work on Yuri on Ice, and here it's just really enjoyable just to see all the different expressions and different character designs. Everyone looks really unique. The beginning is a little complicated, and there's a lot of specific Japanese cultural references that you're gonna have to quiz yourself on, though Kodansha has really great translation notes at the back of each of the books. I think if you're looking for something a little bit different, check it out. Next in my collection is Kaori Osaki's The Golden Sheep. Sugu Mikura is moving back to her old town for high school, and she's really excited to see all her old friends, Yushin, Asari, and Sora. Sugu is excited for the gang to come back together, but in the years she was away, things have changed dramatically. Friendships are fractured, pain is hidden away, and when secrets start coming out, Sugu ends up making a bold decision with a bigger impact than she expected. The Golden Sheep has such beautiful art. It was what immediately attracted me to reading the story. It's just got such an aesthetic that's so soft, but not so feathery. It does feel like very rooted in real emotions. And that's what I could say too about the writing. There's such an emphasis on nostalgia and the ways in which it clouds our perceptions of what we thought our friends were, growing up, and how things can change in just a couple of years. Osaki doesn't shy away from tough themes that really resonate with people, especially with the way people can kind of suffer in silence, the ways in which relationships can become toxic. One thing I will say is that Kaori Osaki also did a one-shot called The God's Lie, which has been really highly recommended. I see it a lot in people's collections. So if you're looking for a one-shot, a complete story that's pretty affordable to get a sense of like what her style is, there's another place to go. So I gotta talk about Our Dreams at Dusk. Guys, this story is so beautiful. It makes me really happy that I've seen other manga tubers talk about this series, because I would honestly recommend it to everybody. I would especially recommend it to LGBT readers of manga, because it just provides a very unique story that I think should just be told more. So the story revolves around Tasuku Kaname, who is 14 years old and is really worried that he's just been outed as gay at his high school. And he runs off and contemplates actually ending his life. He ends up finding a drop-in center led by this mysterious person named Somebody. Although it takes him a while for him to kind of warm up to the people in the drop-in center, he becomes very curious about them and realizes that a lot of them are also LGBT. The focus is less on the main character having a relationship of some sort, which is how you normally see a lot of like yaoi and yuri series. They're usually about the two characters meeting and falling in love. This is much more about like identity, insecurity, and growing up and finding a sort of chosen family. And then you're dealing with a lot of specific feelings of loneliness, isolation, fear, and anxiety about what the future can be for you if you're queer. It makes me really interested in learning more about the history of LGBT rights and the LGBT community within Japan itself. Honestly, I just love this series so much. I just ordered almost all the rest of the volumes. It's also a really short series. It's only 4 volumes long. So if you're looking for something different and something that's like a low commitment, definitely check it out. Next series I'm going to be talking about is ARIA, or ARIA the Masterpiece, according to my book cover. I picked this volume up on a whim because I was feeling pretty nostalgic about watching the anime. Long ago, before Crunchyroll and Netflix existed and we didn't stream all of our anime, I was downloading fan-subbed episodes of the anime version of ARIA. During the 24th century, the main character, Akari Mizunashi, moves to the planet Mars, which has been terraformed into a water-covered planet named Aqua. She goes to a city called Neo Venetia, which is, as you can expect, based on Venice. Its big draw is the canals, much like Venice, and young girls can go to Aqua and train to become undines, which are essentially the gondoliers that do all the tourism and travel throughout the city. Akari is a very sweet girl, and honestly, this whole series in general is super sweet. You're not going to read this for the plot, and you're not really going to read this for the characters. You're going to read it for the vibes. It's just a very relaxing series with a lot of detailed art. The background scenery is gorgeous. It just draws you in. The character designs are kind of cute in a very classic early 2000s way, which is when the book was published originally. And these editions by Tokyopop, the Masterpiece editions, are really gorgeous. You get some colored art, you get some good like printing quality. Like, look at that, that's so pretty. I don't know if I'm gonna buy more. I think the one first volume is gonna be enough for me in terms of fulfilling that like nostalgia. If you wanna try the anime, it's available for free on YouTube. It's through Right Stuf's anime division, Nozomi Entertainment. Next in my collection, we've got, you know, probably one of the best shonen series of all time. You've heard of it, you loved it, you probably watched the anime. It's Fullmetal Alchemist. The story takes place in a world where people practice alchemy, the art of transmuting material from one form to another. Two brothers, Edward and Alphonse Elric, are on a mission to find the Philosopher's Stone, an artifact powerful enough to break the rules of alchemy, specifically having to sacrifice something in order to get something in return. Ed and Al tried using alchemy as children to bring their mother back to life, but paid a heavy price. Ed lost 2 limbs, and Al lost his whole body, becoming just a soul attached to a suit of armor. Ed and Al's adventures are a travelogue through a huge world of characters and magical science, and while they try to find a way to get their bodies back, dark forces are following their every move. Besides the story, which honestly is so good that I would recommend getting this manga in any edition possible, I've got the Fullmetal editions, which are the hardcover versions, and they're just really nice quality. Nice quality pages, you get concept art in the back, you get some color pages, the binding is really nice, the foil detailing on the spine and on the cover is just really good, and like the rainbow sort of formation that they're going with the releases lately is very exciting. I'm really excited to see how that's going to look on my shelf. Next up on my list is an interesting one. This is Cutie Honey. So my history with Cutie Honey has been mostly with the anime series that have come out in the last like 50 or so years. I had never really read the manga, so I was really curious to see how it all began. And Cutie Honey is essentially also the prototypical magical girl as we know it, the magical girl warrior, I should say. So when I got it, I was really impressed with the book quality itself, like the binding, the hardcover art, and the page quality itself. The actual manga though, I have trouble recommending this. The manga is very inconsistent compared to the TV show, and it's a lot raunchier. Not just like raunchy in your typical like fan servicey kind of way, but in like a, whoa, this feels like a 14-year-old boy's like, you know, concept of what's sexy and what's funny. It's definitely a product of its time. Another thing about Cutie Honey is that the pacing is really whack. It's got a pretty strong beginning, and then just kind of like all the momentum will just stop for an extended sex gag for like multiple chapters, and then it'll just like flip the script and then just turn into like super violent, like dark stuff. It's not a very satisfying read. It's definitely a weird one. I don't really regret buying it because the art style is very interesting. I think Go Nagai had a real good sense of like how to showcase action. So would I recommend you read this? Probably not, unless you're already a Go Nagai fan. If you're more of a casual reader, and especially if you're more of like a casual magical girl fan, this is probably not what you're looking for. Speaking of magical girls, I'm gonna wrap this up with the crown jewel of my collection, the collector's edition of Cardcaptor Sakura, volumes 1, 2, and 3. It's an iconic magical girl series that I'd recommend to everyone. Sakura Kinomoto accidentally opens a mystical book scattering a deck of magical cloud cards around her town. The book's guardian, Kerberos, enlists her to become a cardcaptor and retrieve every single cloud card before their powers unleash mayhem and mischief. It's so pretty, I swear to God. So when it comes to the collector's editions, honestly, I really like the look of them. I love the light peach color, the gold foil, the art is really beautiful. There's my boy Karo. I love Karo. Cardcaptor Sakura has a lot of like delicate line artwork and a lot of backgrounds that are mostly made up of detailed textures and screen tones. So you really get to appreciate all the little aspects of it with having the oversized pages of this high quality. The thing about the collector's edition of Cardcaptor Sakura is that it's expensive. They retail for about $30. There's no color pages, there's no like character charts, behind the scenes stuff, no interviews or anything or any other bonus content, so what you're really paying for is a souped up quality of the book. If you were to compare the collector's edition of Cardcaptor Sakura with the collector's edition of Fullmetal Alchemist, I would have to go with Fullmetal Alchemist, not only for it being $10 cheaper, but having more content in it. Would I recommend you read Cardcaptor Sakura? Yes. Would I recommend you buy it in this edition? Only when it's on sale. Alright, so that's my whole collection. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm hoping to post more content on this channel soon, including some manga hauls, some art tutorials, and speed paintings I've been doing, and talking more about manga art in general, because it's just such a unique medium that so many more series, from comic books to Western cartoons to even stuff produced in other Asian countries, it all is so influential and so interesting that I think it's worth talking about. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more. If you'd like, leave a comment down below telling me what manga series you've recently purchased, or what manga series you hope to purchase during Right Stuf's holiday sale, or, you know, just in general, what you're looking forward to coming out soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.